talk sports.
We are Black Force. We are South.
Freddie Gonzalez's Braves are banged up, battered, and they're bruised. Injuries to Atlanta's starting outfield have forced the Braves to shuffle its big league roster. And today, a new-look lineup will dig in against one of Cincinnati's finest, no-hit man, Homer Bailey. The Braves hope to flip last night's results and turn things around in Game 3. It's the Braves and it's the Reds, and it's next in Atlanta. We welcome you to Atlanta and Turner Field, where another big crowd is battling for big league baseball. This afternoon, the Braves have a battle with the Reds and, frankly, the Red Cross. It's the Reds and Braves in Game 3 of our 4-game weekend series. Hi again, friends. I'm Chip Carey with Braves legend Dale Murphy. Good to have you alongside today.
Great to be with you today, Chip.
Murph, injuries a big story in this weekend series with the Reds. The Atlanta outfield is decimated with injury. And for more on that, let's join our third colleague today, Tom Hart.
All right, Chip, thanks. With all three frontline starters, the Upton brothers and Jason Hayward, down with muscle strains, they're not expected to play for the rest of the weekend. Add to that, Jordan Schaefer will be out another 4 weeks, and the Braves are in a pickle as far as their outfield is concerned. So Jose Constanza has been recalled from AAA Gwinnett. He will start and bat leadoff tonight. In addition, Alex Wood has been optioned down to Gwinnett. Well, he will join their rotation and start for them on Thursday. So from now until the All-Star break, the Braves will have to make do with an inexperienced outfield, which by the final out last night featured two guys that had never played in the outfield in a major league game before. Joey Terdoslavich, who starts again today, and Tyler Pasternicki, who's proven to be very valuable as a utility player. Chip?
Good report, Tom. And Murph, you can't worry about who's not here, but who is. And Costanza, Johnson, and Terdoslavich, today's starting outfield.
Well, this group here has 13 combined starts for the 2013 season, and they're all by Reed Johnson. But Costanza's, this will be his 80th big league game, so a little experience there. But, another chance for the Braves to fill in for some injuries that really has plagued them all the year. They've done a good job of filling in and weathering some storms.
Ironically enough, the last time the big three outfield did not play together in a game was during a Mike Minor start against the Reds in Cincinnati, a game that Mike and the Braves won. Big test today. Homer Bailey lies in wait as well for the Reds, and we'll get to the starting lineups for Game 3 right after this. AT&T Uverse, by Delta Airlines, and by Ford. We're just about ready to go on a cloudy, windy day at Turner Field in Atlanta. Very comfortable temperatures, but very humid. It rained here just a little while ago. Hopefully the bad weather will stay away and we can wrap this one up without any delay today. A look at the Toyota starting lineup for the Cincinnati Reds. Chris Heisey gets the starting assignment in left field today. Shin-Soo Choo moves out of the leadoff spot. He'll hit second. He has had trouble against left-handed pitchers. Back-to-back all-star hitters in Joey Votto and Brandon Phillips at first and second base. Jay Bruce, the right fielder. Todd Frazier's at third with Zach Cozart. Former Brave Corky Miller hits eighth. And as Murph said a moment ago, Homer Bailey, 2 starts ago, threw his second career no-hitter.
Yeah, Mike Minor today hoping to get things going a little bit better. Last couple starts struggled a little bit, but 1-1 his last couple starts. Today is, like I said earlier, like I tried to say earlier today, throws well against left-handers. Hopefully he can neutralize them today. Good left-handed hitters in this lineup, but his 4 keys to the game today are keep it in the yard. It's been had a little trouble with giving up some home runs, and derail Shin-Soo Choo. He's had 4 hits today, but scored 4 hits in this series and has scored 4 runs. He's hitting second today because he doesn't do that well against left-handers, but hopefully Mike Minor can keep him off the bases.
And we're underway. First pitch from Minor is off the plate to Chris Heisey. The Reds outfielder, 4 homers, 10 RBIs. 77 degrees at 4:07 in Atlanta. And Heisey, a 1-1 count. Heisey was hit on the elbow last Tuesday, and that really caused some problems. You see the wrap on the elbow. It's been an injury-plagued season, too. He missed the first 2 months with hamstring problems.
Excuse me, Joe. What I was going to say was, obviously the topic today is these injuries. And I think a casual fan, as they look through the standings, see the Braves, with this lead and think nothing's happened here, that everything's been smooth sailing. But it hasn't been that way. It's really been resilient.
At short, Simmons gets a ground ball chance. Errant throw, but Freeman off the bag, made the tag. And that might have stung him a bit, Murph.
Yeah, I think you're right.
The glove came off the left hand for Freeman as Heisey charged by. There's the first out. Let's check on Freeman. That is such a dangerous play for a first baseman. The catch, the tag with the charging base runner down the first base line.
Yeah, and I think sometimes you'll actually see first basemen shy away from that a little bit, but not Freddie. He immediately took the glove off, and he still looks like he's reacting a little bit to something that happened to his thumb or his wrist.
Even Brian McCann saw that. And while Freeman collected himself, both he and Mike Minor looked over at first base to make sure Freddie was okay over there. Keep an eye on that as the day goes on. Here's Shin-Soo Choo. This man's been quite a find for the Reds after they got him from the Indians. An on-base machine for Cincinnati. And Murph, our Georgia Lottery hitting the jackpot, shows he's had a very good series.
Yeah, he has. I agree with you, Chip. I like this guy. He's done a great job for them, hitting mostly leadoff this season. Plays good defense, throws well. He's got a good game.
He gets on base every way you can possibly imagine. 96 hits. He's walked 62 times. He's been hit by 20 pitches. His on-base percentage, .420. And that one right back where it came from on a 3-1 count. A lot of Reds fans in Atlanta today, and they applaud Choo's first hit of the day. He's aboard with 1 out. And he now has an 11-game hitting streak. And that's what Dusty Baker wants. He wants the 1-2 guys on in front of Votto and Phillips. They've been the big run producers for Cincinnati. strike to Votto. Chu can run. He's got 11 stolen bases. Grabbed the bag in the ninth last night. He's got a big lead. No balls and a strike for Votto. And it's even 1-1. Minor had a good start last time out. Didn't get a decision against the Marlins. Gave up 1 run over 6 innings and a third. That was the 14-inning affair down at Marlins Park. Much needed good start for Minor. For the Braves, Murph had lost the previous 3 games in which Mike had pitched.
Yeah, I've just again just really been impressed though with his consistency. He's really figured out how. I know the home run balls bother him a little bit, but he hasn't backed off of his fastball. Still has good confidence in it.
Ground ball by Votto on a 1-2 count. Chu around second. He's on his way to third. And Cincinnati has runners at the corners with 1 man out. Reds have been awfully good in the first inning in this series, and they're threatening again today against Mike Minor. Here's his last 5 outings.
Well, it's interesting to see Chu. There wasn't going to be a play. It was not hit hard enough to Turdoslavich in right, but it'll be interesting. I'm sure they went over some extensive scouting reports to find out and figure out how Turdoslavich and Constanza throw. We might want to watch for that. They may take advantage of some things that some relative inexperience out there.
Well, here's Brandon Phillips. He's been the big RBI man for the Reds. 71 runs driven in. That's 3rd most in the league. But he's also hit into 11 double plays. Minor would love one here from Phillips. And his changeup missed low. 1 ball, no strikes. Phillips headed to the All-Star game. 4 times he's been an All-Star. This will be his first start for the National League at second base.
I think he made the all-Twitter team too. He is out there a lot on social media. But I'll tell you, a lot of things I see are pictures with fans during BP, and fans really enjoy Brandon Phillips. But he's out there.
2 balls, no strikes. And he was late.
Looked like he might have been trying to shoot one through that hole the other way. Got a good pitch to do it, just off the plate a little bit.
Reds are almost an identical offensive ball club to the Braves, with the exception of the strikeouts. They don't hit for as much power. They don't strike out as much. But both teams hitting an identical .250 so far in the first half of the year. And Joe West thought that was outside. 3 balls and a strike.
What a great follow-up pitch to that sinker. I didn't think it missed.
Dusty Baker, an original Atlanta Brave, signed as a teenager. Played 9 seasons in Atlanta and is the answer to a great Major League trivia question that we'll get to. It's not the AT&T Uverse question. And that question is, who was on deck when Hank Aaron broke Babe Ruth's home run record?
That's right.
It was Dusty Baker.
Dusty Baker. He was my first spring training in '75. He was with the club and treated all us young players, young kids, really well. Always loved Dusty. Sad to see him get traded to went to the Dodgers, right?
Yep.
Big trade.
Yep. 3 balls, 2 strikes to Phillips. And it's ball 4. It's ball 4. The runner at first, Votto, is running. And Minor's looking around saying, what's going on? It's a walk, and the bases are loaded again for Cincinnati. They scored 2 in the first inning here on Thursday, 3 in the first inning last night. And now Jay Bruce has a chance with 1 out to put the Reds on the board again in the opening frame. Bruce has a team high 18 homers and 64 RBIs. And while we talked, Murph, about the troubles Chu has hitting lefties, that's not the case for Jay Bruce. That went in at the knees.
Well, that would be interesting. That's an interesting stat. You would think it wouldn't be that with the amount of strikeouts he has. You would think against left-handers that he would struggle a little bit.
1 ball, 1 strike.
Here we'll see it, 283 versus lefties.
Higher average against lefties, but more power against righties. But he will strike out. He's over 100 for the Reds this year. And now the 1-2. 2 outs. Big pitch by Minor. Now Frazier hits.
Yeah, it was. It looked like, obviously Brian McCann wanted a little up. It looked like it sailed a little bit. Good pitch. Good at bat, and he's been dangerous with the bases loaded this year. 5 for 13 with 11 RBIs.
So now the pressure on the shoulders of Frazier, Murph. Bases loaded, 1 out. Your big RBI guy strikes out. Reds don't want to let this opportunity slip away. Minor 1 out away from having that happen. And it nearly hit him. 1 ball, no strikes. If there is an Achilles heel for this Reds offense, it is situations such as this. They have not of late been a good hitting team with runners in scoring position. The last 26 games, they're hitting $178.
Wow.
Belt high inside corner evens the count. That's down the right field line, but slicing it at the seats. And Todd Frazier certainly falls into line with the Reds' wrist troubles. That graphic shows what he's done with 2 outs. Chu singled, Votto singled, Phillips walked. Jay Bruce has struck out. Now Frazier down to his last strike. And McCann smothered that. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
He got crossed up. He was getting ready to go down and block it.
How lonely is that feeling back there? You're the only guy that doesn't know what's coming and the bases are loaded.
Get leather on it. He caught it. Get leather on it. You're doing a pretty good job.
Line to third, and Minor is out of the first inning. The Reds load the bases with 1 out. Can't break through. No score. Bottom of the first inning. as he got out of a big mess made by the Reds in the top of the first inning. Bases loaded, one out, and Cincinnati fails to score. So Freddie Gonzalez has a very different looking Toyota starting lineup. One All-Star, that's Freddie Freeman, who's hitting third. Jose Costanza just up from Gwinnett is in left field. Joey Turdosilovich is in right field hitting eighth. And Murph, a real tough assignment for hard-throwing Homer Bailey goes to work.
Yeah, Homer Bailey, as we talk about, and as all of baseball knows, through his second no-hitter, career no-hitter a couple starts ago. And his forward pitching keys to success today is getting his breaking stuff over. If he's getting his breaking stuff over with all his other plus stuff, that's how he throws no-hitters. And who are these guys? He's got a few guys he doesn't know too well. Probably spent a little more time on scouting reports than you typically do. It's usually on automatic pilot, but not today.
And one of those unfamiliar faces might be the man leading off. That's Jose Costanza, just up from Gwinnett, where he was hitting .263, 13 RBIs, 18 stolen bases, and had an 8-game AAA hitting streak working. So Dale, he fills a couple of needs. One, outfield and defense, but two, a leadoff guy. The Braves really haven't had a true leadoff hitter all year long. And that's low and away. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Yeah, and as you mentioned, Chip, 18 stolen bases, 18 stolen bases this year in Gwinnett, 12 major league stolen bases.
To short, Cozart loads up, and that nearly cost him. That's something Costanza has always been able to do. He puts a lot of pressure when he makes consistent contact. 1 out, though. So Andrelton Simmons slots a spot down on the lineup card. He's batting second. And he takes a ball low. He'd love to get on for our Delta Airlines on deck batter. That's Freddie Freeman. Homer Bailey is a big dude. In fact, the Reds say he's finally grown into his fastball, if you will. When they drafted him first a couple of years ago, he was a 6'4", 210-pound guy. He's added about 30 pounds of muscle to his frame. And that's really helped tighten up his shoulder and has made a big fastball even bigger. He can hump it up to 96 if he has to. And he just did to Simmons. He fouled it straight back.
Talking to Greg Walker before the game, and he said the thing that Homer Bailey, he loves his fastball, and for good reason. He says if he's getting his off-speed stuff over, it's going to be a tough day, but loves his fastball. We've seen him here 0-2 and a couple pitches right there. He's not afraid to go right after it.
Little chopper hit toward Frazier. Bare hand scoop and throws on the run. Simmons dives and is out at first. Shades of Chipper Jones for Todd Frazier. Fine play. And a close play goes Cincinnati's way. 2 out.
Yeah, really nicely done by Frazier. And you're right. Shades of the best in the business, Chipper Jones. Seen a lot of diving at head first, Chip. I'm getting more nervous the more I see it this year out of the Braves. I've seen Jason Hayward do it a few times and Andrelton do it a few times. I'm getting a little nervous about it, especially with the injury rate and the things we got going on here.
A lot of bad things can happen over there. Is that an instinct play as a base runner or batter runner, I guess?
Yeah, it must be. It was always just pounded into me to you want to slide occasionally if you can see the first baseman coming off the bag, that there might be a tag involved, but never was told to do it head first. Slide away from the tag, feet first, and At first, I can remember only doing it a few times in my career, and I do remember one time jamming the finger. So it's dangerous.
And it's, I think, been proven it's actually slower.
Slower.
Which works against what you're trying to accomplish. As Freeman bats with 2 outs and laces one foul out of play again. It's 2-2. An old broadcast partner of mine used to say, when I see Carl Lewis dive at the tape in the 100-meter dash, then it's okay for base runners.
Good point.
Reds have a bit of a shift on in the infield for Freeman. Frazier is playing where the shortstop normally does. Freeman has the entire third base line to play with if he swings late or goes that way with 2 outs. And he hits one in the air to right center field. That's going to be playable. Who wants him? It'll be Chu. And he's there to retire the side. 3 up, 3 down for Homer Bailey. No score after 1. Three against Cincinnati. One more to be played here tomorrow. But Mike Minor and Homer Bailey dueling after a scoreless first. And good pitching, certainly a calling card for both of these clubs, Murph, on our Academy Sports and Outdoor leaderboard. You'll see that.
Yeah, the lowest ERAs in Major League Baseball, and you'll notice also the top 5 are all in the National League. So hitters in the National League have got a little extra work to do. Look at the Pirates.
Great story, huh?
No, it is. We need that franchise to improve, and they are. Good ball club this year. Great city, great ballpark. Good to see them do better.
So the Reds, who had the bases loaded, 1 out, and didn't score in the first, now turn to Zach Cozart to begin inning number 2. Frustrating time for the Reds. They're 5 games out of first, 4 games out of second. They've had a ton of scoring chances this month, and by and large haven't cashed them in. Ray Johnson took a bad route, and that's over his head and off the base of the wall. Cozart puts his head down around second. He's going to try for third, and the throw will be late. A leadoff triple by Cozart.
Yeah, I'm not sure exactly what happened, but with the wind blowing in, I think, on Freddie Freeman's fly ball, the wind blowing in held it up, and I think Reed thought that might have been the case on this one. But when you hit those low driving line drives there, those are the balls that are going to get going today. That's the only way you're going to hit a home run. I'm surprised to see Reed take that route, but definitely fooled.
Second triple for Cozart, and now Corky Miller hits. The calling card for Corky Miller in his big league career is defense. He catches it well, he calls it well, he throws it very well behind the plate. And he has an RBI chance here with the infield in. Off the plate, 2 balls, no strikes.
Well, his calling card's got to be that Fu Manchu he's working there, a little mad Hungarian.
He's
right
rocking
there.
it, isn't he?
It's Al Rabowski right there.
There you go. Corky spent part of the 07 and 08 seasons with the Braves, then went to the White Sox. This is his second go-round with the Reds. And a liner into the seats, foul. 2 balls and a strike. Miller's up with the big league club because Ryan Hannigan is hurt. He's got a bad wrist and has been placed on the Cincinnati disabled list. To the right side, off the heel of Freeman's glove. Uggla recovers and gets Corky Miller, but he makes contact and brings home Cozart with the game's first run. The old traditional 3-4-3 ground ball out makes it 1-0 Cincy.
Well, Freddie playing in, the whole infield was in, probably because Corky Miller is probably with the heart of the lineup. He might have played back a little bit and conceded a run, but with the back end of this lineup playing in, Freddie again taking one off that wrist or hand that he might have hurt earlier on a tag. Good recovery though to get the out.
And this is Homer Bailey. He is not named Homer because of his big league hitting prowess. He has not registered a major league long ball yet. His given name is David. And it's named after his great grandfather. He's out of LaGrange, Texas. Swing and into the seats. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Might not know this about Bailey. Murph mentioned his no-hitter he threw 2 starts ago. Homer Bailey has thrown the last 2 no-hitters in the big leagues. His first no-hitter came last September 28th against the Pirates. His last one was July 2nd against the Giants. And the Reds, the oldest professional major league club, have 3 men now with multiple no-hitters in their Reds careers. As Bailey's caught looking, that's out number 2. Jim Maloney has 2 no-hitters. Bailey has 2 no-hitters. And Murph, I know you know the story of Johnny Vandermeer, who had no-hitters in back-to-back big league starts.
Yeah, that's the trick. Well, there's maybe a few records you may not think are going to be broken, but that's always the one that to break it, you got to throw 3 in a row. Might be a little tough.
Just to tie it, just to get 1 to get on the board is tough, right? So Chris Heisey bats with the Reds up a run, and now an even count at a ball and a strike. The no-hitter, by the way, for Bailey, the first ever in the Great American Ballpark. In some ways, it's like the Coors Field of the Eastern Time Zone.
Yeah, you shut someone out there. You did a great job.
Heisey hits it hard to left. It's over Costanza's head and off the fence. And Heisey on his way to second with a 2-out double. Dusty Baker might want an appeal on this one. That hit right off the top of the fence and came whistling back onto the field of play. Now remember, if it hits the yellow line, that's not a home run. That is merely a border. And Rob Drake will meet with Joe West and the other umpires to see what they saw and if a replay is necessary.
Here we go here, and you're right. You got to remind people that. So I guess Dusty's asking if it hit that yellow line and then hit the wall behind it. There's another look at it here. Yeah, no, it looked like it hit the yellow padding where that outfield left field scoreboard meets and bounced back into play. Shouldn't be a tough call here.
One of the great features about this ballpark is there's a moat, if you will, between the wall and where the stands start. And oftentimes when you see the ball ricochet back like that, it'll hit off the top of the fence, skip off that green part of the wall, and then shoot back onto the field of play. There's a good 3-4 feet at the very least between the back of the fence and that wall.
So it's very obvious when it does happen.
Yeah, or very difficult for the fans at least to interfere.
Right.
And I think on that replay you see the ball hits the yellow line and clearly comes back on the field of play. This should be ruled a double.
Where some ballparks, to your point again, just have the line and then
the stands are right there.
The stands right there.
Right.
Tough call. Tougher call.
And for Dusty Baker, why not challenge it and see he might get a run out of it if the replays are enough to overturn the call of the field. And it was a double. It hit right off the yellow line. Joe West's crew got it right.
Well, the old discussion about replay in baseball and how to implement it and how to work it out. It's a little tougher than the other sports. For instance, in the NBA, sometimes there's a questionable call. I know they could play for a couple more minutes, go back and look at the replay and actually take points off the board. But baseball gets really tricky. You got base runners. You got to figure out where to put them back if you're going to put them back. I mean, obviously on the home run call, it's an easier call. The ball's dead and not too much you can worry about. But I agree with some added replay to the game. But it's just not that easy to figure out how to do it.
Shin-Soo Choo bats with a runner at second. I like the fact that when you look at and analyze the replay, that 95% of the time the umpires get it right before the replay's even made.
You're right.
But more of it's probably coming. The only question is whether it's implemented next year or shortly thereafter for more than just the so-called boundary calls like the one we just saw. Chu already has a hit this afternoon. The Reds with 4 of them already in the game. And that's inside. 2 balls and a strike. Would you be in favor, Murph, of a yellow flag or a red flag challenge system from the dugout where if there's a close play?
Yeah, I'd be in favor of. Yeah, I would like to see managers have some options. Right now, is there basically no limit on a home run? You can just ask as many times as you want.
A base hit by Chu with 2 outs. And that's going to bring home Heisey. And it's 2-0 Cincinnati. No stopping Chu. Haven't been able to derail him yet. A single, a double, and a triple in the inning for the Reds. They're up 2-0.
Well, you just got to get a little more direction on this whole replay thing. I think we've seen from tennis that you can get very exact, on boundary calls, like you said.
Yeah. And I love that tennis system we saw it at Wimbledon.
Yeah.
In or out, it's on the scoreboard. Everybody in the ballpark knows right away. I think that would be great if it was implemented in baseball for the home run calls or the fair or foul calls. No balls and a strike for Votto. He too has a hit. The Reds are making Mike Minor work awfully hard. He's up to 50 pitches and he's not out of the second inning.
Well, we got to figure out what to do with the replay thing, and yet the other challenge with baseball is the length of the games. So you're going to add length to games, and it's something that needs to be discussed, I think, though, a little bit, a little bit more seriously, a little more in depth.
Did Votto go around? Yes, he did. Minor strikes out the Reds' first baseman, but a couple of runs across in the top of the second inning. Brian McCann and the Braves go to work, trailing Homer Bailey now 2-0.
Injuries over the last couple of days. Braves made a roster move in getting Jose Costanza back from Gwinnett. To make room, they sent Alex Wood down. They will send him down to be a starter, and after last night's performance, he had a lot of confidence.
It's a little further separation from the last time I threw that many innings than it was when I got my start against the Mets a few weeks ago. But it was good. It's one of those nights where you just have everything working and you feel good. So it was a good time.
3 2/3 innings of no-hit baseball in relief. He struck out Votto. He struck out Bruce. When I talked to Frank Wren before the game, he said the plan is to send him back down, to stretch him back out, turn him into what they had plans for him all the long way, which is to be a starter. So he'll be in Gwinnett's rotation and start Thursday night. It remains to be seen how he will be used when he's eligible to come back.
That's a good report, Tom. And the other part of that is the Braves really don't lose anything as far as the way their staff is made up, in that we play tomorrow, then you have the 4-day All-Star break. Paul Maholm isn't going to start another game until after the break. If you needed a situational left-hander, you could use Paul either today, I assume, or tomorrow in place of Alex Wood to get you through the break, and then you shuffle or readjust your roster, Murph, in preparation for Game 1 against the White Sox on Friday.
Yeah, it's been a good thing this All-Star break's coming up.
And a swing and a miss by McCann. Bailey has his first strikeout of the day and has retired the first 4 he's faced.
That's fortunate, as you mentioned, Chip. The timing of everything has been a little crazy, but we got some time to work with some things, get some guys healthy. I like that kid Wood, though. Good stuff.
And it gives the Braves a real good problem. Assuming Alex gets stretched back out, and I'm sure he will, the Braves then have potential for 7 quality starters and only 5 roster spots. That is an envious position to be in as Ugla takes high, ball 2. That other starter is Brandon Beachy, who Tom apparently has had to get re-stretched out after the tendonitis following the Tommy John and his first rehab, right?
Yeah, I spoke to Frank Wren about Beachy before the game today, and he pointed this out. He said, listen, we're not going to bring him back to take someone's spot in the rotation unless he has proven that he is better than that person whose spot we want him to take. Stretching him out is not that big an issue. Effectiveness is. So they want to make sure that Brandon Beachy is ready to go and can come up to the big leagues and get big league hitters out before they make a move and just inject him into the rotation.
Fly ball to right. That'll chase Bruce back a few steps, and at the edge of the track makes the play for the second out. And that's, again, the other envious position the Braves are in. They don't just have 5 guys who they allow to start. They have 5 guys who are really, really good starting, and those are very tough positions to earn and keep.
Yeah, again, the offense has done well, especially the last couple of weeks and early in the year. But overall, you look at this staff and the bullpen, and of course, Greg Kimball at the end of that bullpen. Good stuff coming from this staff.
Chris Johnson's moved up to the 6th spot today. His long hitting streak ended last night. It was a 12-game run. He's now 12 out of 13 with hits. 19 hits in his last 51 at bats.
A good moving fastball. I'm guessing that's a fastball, 98 miles an hour. But the pitch before that was a good splitter. He struck out Brian McCann with that good splitter.
Bailey also used to throw a changeup. Doesn't throw it nearly as much as that split finger pitch. Might have thrown the split right there to take care of Chris Johnson. The big Texan is off to a good start. 6 up, 6 down, and up 2-zip. For Bailey, let's check out today's trivia question. As always, Murph, it's brought to you by AT&T Uverse. Homer Bailey's one of 4 active pitchers with a pair of no-hitters. Can you name the other 3? 3 other pitchers have 2 or more no-hitters besides Homer Bailey. Think about that for a minute. Yeah. Murph is furiously writing down in his scorebook his answers.
Well, didn't Verlander have more than? I could be struggling.
No, you might be right.
If I can't come up with 1, I don't know if I can come up with 3.
Got plenty of time. Phillips pops up the first pitch. And in shallow right, Ugla is there, and he makes the grab.
But the trivia But excuse me, Chip, but the trivia question was, can you come up with the other three, right?
Yeah, it wasn't named
So
the other
no.
three. The answer's no. Right. We win.
That's right.
I like the way you think. Might have to employ that strategy
More often
when
than
Mr. Simpson comes back for the second half. And Joe's on vacation. He'll join me back in Chicago on Friday when we open up a series with the White Sox. Thanks to Tommy Glavine filling in the last couple of days. And Murph and I will be with you today and again tomorrow.
Thankful for the chance to pinch hit for Joe today.
Here's Jay Bruce. Bruce struck out with the bases loaded in the opening inning. And inside corner strike. 0-2. Another big crowd at the ballpark on a cloudy Saturday afternoon. And over 40,000 the first two night games. And after today's game 3, we'll have the big concert with Steve Miller Band. Looking forward to that.
Steve Miller Band, right in the middle of my high school years. My sweet spot as far as music was concerned when I started listening, figuring out where to find the good music.
Swing and a miss by Jay Bruce. Was that a 33 RPM or 78?
Well, we don't need to get into the details.
So good crowd for Steve Miller of the Braves and the Reds. And Mike Minor starting to round into form. He's got his 4th strikeout. 2 outs for Frazier.
Yeah, really nice slider there to Jay Bruce.
Going outside, 1 ball, no strikes. Mentioned the other day the baseball pedigree of Todd Frazier. Played on a Little League World Series champion ball club, the Toms River, New Jersey group. They beat Japan, I think it was, in the Little League World Series championship. He went 4 for 4 and hit a homer. Flinch by Joe West.
Joe West has been a little tight, I think, for Mike Minor today. You know, he hasn't had a lot of questionable calls with Homer Bailey, but I think Mike's, some of his body language has shown that he hasn't quite been on the same page as Joe West today.
That's popped up down the right field line, and no play for Freeman. Well, Joe West knows a thing or two about singing. He's the cowboy Joe West, country Joe West. He's got a number of country music CDs or albums, if they're still called that nowadays. Speaking of dating yourself.
Well, Joe and I go way back to 1976, the Southern League.
Really?
Yep.
And Frazier will go way back to third base. He thought that ball was down and in. Joe West didn't want to hear that. Minor works a 1-2-3 third and trails 2-zip. Georgia Lottery, by the Home Depot, and by Toyota. Bottom third for the Braves. Ironically enough, it's the bottom of the third inning as well. Reed Johnson, Joey Turdoslavich, and Mike Minor face Homer Bailey, who has picked up a couple of strikeouts, both last inning. Got away with a high breaking ball for strike one to Reed Johnson. Sharply hit and under the glove of Votto. He was there, didn't get the leather down, so no hitter for Homer Bailey today.
Good moving fastball, hard fastball. You know, he had. I was thinking to myself that was going to be the only pitch he got to hit was that first hanging breaking ball that Homer Bailey threw to him. But he does like his fastball. He's in the zone a lot with his fastball. Good job by Reed Johnson.
Here's Turdoslavich, 1 for 9 in the big leagues. Murph, when you first came up to the Braves, did you get to play every day, or were you kind of a bench player, pinch hit guy?
Well, when I first
very first came up,
definitely a bench guy, you know, but they were just call-ups. And if you remember back then, we were playing so poorly that when my first full year, I was an everyday guy. And but it's a different thing now with this organization. It's different.
And my point is, it's a different role for Joey, who is playing every day at AAA. And were it not for the injuries, his at-bats have been all pinch hits. And a wide throw by Cozart. And Turdoslavich in between has to scamper back to the first base bag and stands there safely with one out.
Had a good swing at it. I mean, I think you bring up a great point, though, for Turdoslavich. Trying to break into the big leagues, not playing every day, is one of the most challenging things. And that's what I had some concerns about our bench this year with the relative inexperience. Not like guys trying to break in, but they've done a great job. But, yeah, you're right. It's so much easier to – this game is a game of rhythm and playing every day. I mean, I tried to pinch hit at the end of my career with Colorado and Philadelphia a little bit, and I wouldn't have lasted long if that was my main role as a pinch hitter.
So after the forced play at second, Turdoslavich at first for Mike Minor. The bunt is off, and he swung and missed. Is that the biggest challenge for a young hitter when you're used to playing every day and don't when you finally get your call to the show?
Yes. Very challenging, Chip. Very challenging. I mean, there are some things that are easier about hitting in the big leagues. You know, you can see the ball better usually in every ballpark. You face pitchers more often than you do in AAA. You kind of get into that rhythm. But boy, trying to face big league pitching without playing every day as a young hitter. Tough assignment.
It's something Tom Glavine's talked about a lot too. These young players, when they come up, as you said, the Braves organization in much different shape than it was in your young days. They're being asked to contribute for a team that has World Series aspirations. As Minor chased the high fastball and strikes out. That's 2 away in the Atlanta third. I'm sure, Murph, it's one thing to come up when you're joining a team that's lost 90 or 100 games as opposed to a Braves team that hopes to win 90 or 100 games in your first crack at the big leagues.
Yeah, you're right. As a young player, you want to, I mean, it sounds, it is selfish. You want to break in with an organization that's struggling because you want to get the chance to establish yourself and maybe help build that team into a consistent winner. This is a different deal the last 20 years here in Atlanta.
Costanza takes the ball high. 1 ball, no strikes.
It's a little more challenging to break into this lineup. You've got to remember that there's a lot of scouts watching your minor league games. If it doesn't happen here, you may be a part of a trade. But yeah, when you do get called up, this is not a drill. We're trying to win this thing, and again, a credit to the whole organization that they have been so consistent over the years. It's a great sign of organizational strength.
That's way high. 2 balls and a strike. Just joining us, Cincinnati got their 2 runs in the 2nd inning. A triple, a double, a single. Made it 2-0 for the Reds. Homer Bailey's given up 1 hit through 2 2/3 innings. Earlier today, as Tom Hart reported, Alex Wood was sent back to AAA Gwinnett to join their starting rotation. And after the Braves have lost their entire starting outfield, Jose Costanza was brought up to join Joey Trdoslavich and Reed Johnson as the starting trio in the pasture for Game 3 of the series today. Low and in. Walk would be nice. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Trdoslavich will be running. Up the middle, a base hit. Trdoslavich around second. Chu throws through to third. Bad decision. Costanza moves up 90 feet. Now a hit could tie the game, Murph.
Yeah,
2 on, 2 out.
You're right, Chip. As soon as he threw it, when you said bad decision, very surprising out of a player. That coming from a player like Chu in center field. Even if you think you got a shot here at third, you don't throw it there. Because this guy can fly here, Costanza, and this inning went from a pretty typical inning for Homer Bailey this game to one where one swing of the bat we got a tie ball game.
You might recall Costanza in 2011 with the Braves. In his first 17 games, had 25 hits. As Simmons shoots one out to short, it handcuffed Cozart, but he made a dandy play with a base runner right in front of him. Bailey gets out of trouble. Braves strand 2 and trail by 2 after 3. With Dale Murphy, I'm Chip Carey. Our SunTrust's shining moment took place before the game today. A very special Braves fan, Curtis Teague, out of Charlotte, North Carolina, paid a visit to our Fox Sports South booth here at Turner Field. And boy, you should have seen this young man's face light up when he got to meet a Braves Hall of Famer, Dale Murphy.
Oh, that was a lot of fun.
I mean, he was prepared with some really good questions about how we do our jobs, about what the Braves are going to do at the trading deadline, who our favorite players were.
Curtis knows his stuff. It's good time.
And he asked us what the best part of our job was, you might recall. Besides the obvious of getting to broadcast these games to the best fans in baseball. We told him about the free ice cream machine in the press room. He was all over that. He was loaded for bear. As Cozart is down on strikes to start the fourth inning.
There's a free ice cream machine back there? I didn't know that.
Yes. We've seen you attack that bad boy. So Curtis, hope you and the family have a great time today, and Elizabeth will be checking in with them a little bit later on in their very special day. Not just with us up in the booth, but all around our production crew against the Reds. 1 ball, no strikes to Corky Miller, who drove in the first run for the Reds. And for more on Corky Miller of late, here's Elizabeth.
Chip, thank you. We know the 37-year-old catcher has seen a lot in his days. Well, mid-June, he was with the AAA affiliate in Durham with the Reds, and he had to come up to pitch as he hit this.
Pop fly, shallow center. It's Dan Ugla going out to make the play.
So he has to come in and pitch in the 8th inning. He gives up a home run. He finishes the game for the Louisville Bats, allowing 3 hits and 4 runs. He was Louisville's 4th reliever that day as they went on to lose 16-3.
Wow. Did you ever get to pitch in a game?
No, I wanted to.
Oh, of course. All the position players want to, right? All the pitchers want to play shortstop. Did you ever come close?
No, the last time I pitched was high school. It was pretty ugly.
Really?
Well, I didn't have any breaking stuff. Fastball was straight as a string, and of course I did. That really can't be qualified as pitching the other night, could it? That first pitch.
Well, that was a strike. Yeah.
It's the first. Yeah, I did. You're right. I did have. It was maybe a strike. I think I broke 38 miles an hour. Did I register 38 on the gun?
Yeah, I didn't notice. I just know that the ball dropped like it was made of cement. A great sinker. And Minor displayed one there to Homer Bailey. He'll get out of the inning in 1-2-3 fashion. He's retired the last 7 Reds. Let's see if his offense can get something going. 2-0 Cincy. Let's see if Atlanta can get something working against Homer Bailey. County skies above. Folks at Delta are having a good day today. They are, as you know, a proud sponsor of your Atlanta Braves. And Delta might be taking Freddie Freeman up to New York. Not sure how the All-Star Game travel plans work. But Freddie Freeman and Craig Kimbrell will represent the Braves next week in New York for the All-Star Game. Freeman flat out to center his first time up. And he takes downstairs, 1 ball, no strikes. Home field advantage on the line, Murph, for the All-Star Game. Like it, hate it, that's the reality. And the National League riding a 3-game winning streak over their counterparts from the junior circuit.
Yeah, that's good to see for National League teams. You know, I think the game's a good game no matter what you do. I kind of like the idea of the home field advantage on the line. Kind of like it, but I think it is, again, as we said the other day when you had me on bobblehead night, I think it is the best All-Star game of all the sports.
Wow, you don't see Freeman get tied up like that. That was a 96-mile-an-hour fastball under his hands.
Yeah, and I noticed Freddie after the swing, looking at his hand, he looked like he let loose of it. I think he's been affected by that play in the first inning, Chip. I think something's going on there. I don't think it's going to get him out of this game, but his wrist or thumb or something is hurting from that tag.
And it's Freeman's left hand with a top hand on his swing, so we'll keep an eye on that. Baseball's All-Star Game was conceived by a sports writer. Folks may not know that. Arch Ward was the sports editor of the Chicago Tribune newspaper.
Is that right?
And the first All-Star Game was in the 1930s. And for 4 years, Murph, there were actually 2 All-Star Games per year.
I had heard that.
Yeah, 1959 to 1962. And Arch Ward was not only the guy that created baseball's Midsummer Classic, he's also the man that invented Golden Globes boxing. So he was way ahead of his time.
Good stuff.
In Chicago. Pop fly foul off the bat of McCann, and ironically enough will be in Chicago after the All-Star Game to play the White Sox. And Old Comiskey Park, I believe, is where the first one was played. Will be in New Comiskey, which is now called U.S. Cellular Field.
And I believe I played in the 50th anniversary of the All-Star Game in Old Comiskey. All I remember is we had a 10 or 11 game, the National League had a, I would say, 10-game winning streak or something, and Fred Lynn hit a grand slam over my head. And they went on, American League went on to rout us, as I remember, 1983, I think.
That would have been 50, yeah. Well, the National League's win streak interrupted 11 wins and 1 tie for the American League. Remember the game in Milwaukee that
yes, I do.
In the tie game?
Starting lineup that year included Steve Sachs, Tim Raines, Andre Dawson, Al Oliver. I hit 5th in that lineup.
McCann drives one deep right field. He turned around a 95-mile-an-hour heater. Hit it a mile. Boy, is he swinging the bat well. Homered last night. He homers today against Homer Bailey. It's a 2-1 game.
Well, you're right, Chip. Been swinging the bat so well. We call back legging one there.
A strike to Dan Uggla. 12 home runs now for Brian McCann.
Swinging so well, and you know, this is such a tough adjustment for the guys in the fact that they had to face Arroyo last night, who probably 60, 70 of the hitters counts he got into, he was throwing off-speed stuff.
Now Uggla shoots one down the right field line. Seats.
Then you got to turn around and play a game at 4 o'clock facing a guy that's 95 plus and throwing you a lot of fastballs. Big adjustment for the guys. Brian McCann hit a home run last night and a one tonight, a 95-mile-an-hour fastball.
And Dan couldn't get that pitch at 89. That's that Bailey breaking ball, which has been inconsistent. It's been pretty good, it appears, today, Murph. That's strikeout number 5.
Well, Dan Uggla swung and missed on that one, but everybody would. Perfect location, tough pitch to hit. I will say that Dan had a nice line drive to right field going with a pitch. Again, a 95-mile-an-hour plus fastball away last at bat, previous at bat. So I like the way Dan Uggla's been swinging lately, too, except for that one.
No balls, 2 strikes for Chris Johnson. Bailey's allowed 9 home runs this year. He's lost his shutout bid. Now he leads by a run. That one swung and missed. The ball bounces away. It's off the screen near the on-deck circle, and Corky Miller gets there and makes the peg in time to get Johnson. The good arm of Corky Miller bails out Homer Bailey, but Atlanta strikes on a McCann homer. 2-1 Cincinnati. We head to the 5th. So far today, the biggest inning of the game might not be the Reds' second or the Braves' fourth, but the Cincinnati first when they loaded the bases with 1 out and didn't score against Minor. It's now a tight 2-1 score.
Well, it's a great job of damage control by Mike Minor. I think, again, it speaks to his maturity. It's easy to pitch when you got your best stuff, but when you start the game off like that and get out of it.
One hopper to Dan Uggla, and the peg to first close, but in time to get Chris Heisey. Always good to retire the leadoff man in front of Shin-Soo Choo, who has been a mystery for the Braves pitching staff in this series. They haven't gotten him out hardly at all. He's got 6 hits. He scored 4 runs. And his 32nd multi-hit game already in the bag today. Bouncing ball to Freeman. Choo can really run. Minor broke to the bag immediately and nearly missed the bag. "3-1 is the scoring on the put out at first. Choo's retired, 2 out.
Well, he must have got it on the first pass, because when he reached back to get it, he never got back. So sometimes you hit the side of it and you want to go back and get it just to make sure the ump knows that you did get it, but you must have had the side of it.
And a lot of times when the ump sees that, they think you missed it, right?
Too.
But Mike's settling in now. He's set down 10 straight Reds. And Votto takes high, 1 ball, 1 strike.
A lot of credit to Mike Minor. High pitch count. Had some tough situations he's had to get out of.
Missed the outside corner, maybe a little high. 2-2.
Maybe just a little bit of it. I'd like to see Joe West open up that strike zone just a tad.
Votto checked his swing and is struck out. That doesn't happen very often. Minor's rolling. Bottom of the order coming up for the Braves. Down a run. By Georgia Power and by AT&T.
Our Chevron probable starters for tomorrow are Tony Cingrani and Julio Teheran. Cingrani 3-1, and Julio Teheran has been pitching very, very well, hasn't he, Chip? Fun to watch him pitch. I'm thankful I got a chance to be here for his one hitter.
That's as good as he's been. He'll look for his 8th win tomorrow. Mike Minor's looking for his 9th today if the Braves bats can get something going against Homer Bailey. Braves have 3 hits. McCann had one leave the yard in the 4th inning. Reed Johnson had the first Braves hit, an opposite field single hit right at Joey Votto, and he couldn't get the glove down in time. And that's Reed's 2nd hit of the series, and he nearly got hit. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Keep you up to date on what the Phillies are doing today. They've got the White Sox and a doubleheader today. They were rained out last night. It's the Phillies 3, White Sox 3, top of the 8th. And another shot opposite field, out of reach of Brandon Phillips. Good approach by Reed Johnson, tying run aboard in the Atlanta 5th.
Really good swing again from Reed Johnson, almost identical, fastball away. But his swing is the reason why he is such a good pinch hitter is the swing is very simple, not a lot of moving parts. It's the ball to the bat. Very simple. With that kind of swing, you have the potential of being a good pinch hitter and not an everyday player. That was one of my challenges with pinch hitting, with my swing and long swing and kind of a lot of things going on. Tough to do, but Reed Johnson again, nice approach.
So let's see how Tadaslavich does his 2nd look at Homer Bailey. Sometimes guys, Murph, will say, especially when they go to the American League and are asked to be DHs, they get their 3 or 4 at bats, but they really have trouble getting in the flow of the game. As a pinch hitter, I would assume you're in the game and you're into the game, but because you haven't swung the bat or caught the ball, are you able to stay in the flow of the game?
Well, and that's why it's so tough. I mean, you can go, underneath in the batting cages and hit off the tee and get someone to do some toss, but you get out there in the lights, prime time, and then as a pinch hitter, you're in a situation where you're facing a guy at the end of the game, facing a closer or a starter who's got real good stuff. I mean, it's just a tough job. And Reed Johnson, one of the best.
He's at first with nobody out. Tadaslavich behind in the count. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
I saw him in spring training right before I went to the World Baseball Classic. He was begging me. He said, I'm the kind of guy they need.
That's a fair ball down the right field line. Johnson around 2nd on his way to 3rd. Bruce had a funny carom. He hung with it. And Tadaslavich has his 2nd big league hit. A double that kissed the chalk past the first base bag. And the Braves are in business against Bailey in the 5th.
Well, nice going, Joey T. The breaking ball inside. Did just what you're supposed to do with it. And Chip, you mentioned this carom of Jay Bruce. He did play that well, because a lot of times you'll go right to the corner where you expected it to, and Bruce did a nice job of playing a kind of a funny hop out there to keep Reed Johnson from scoring.
So a world of options now for the Braves. Freddie Gonzalez does squeeze a lot. That's an option here with Johnson at 3rd and the pitcher Mike Minor up. Infield in for the Reds. And no bunt on the first pitch. 1 ball, no strikes. Mr. Bailey's pitching a little angry. 2 straight 97-mile-an-hour fastballs.
You mentioned that Freddie likes to squeeze. He's also done a couple safety squeeze, which is obviously now, well, 1-1. I mean, there's a chance, but I haven't been a big fan of the safety squeeze. It's a hard read as a base runner.
1 ball, 2 strikes.
Freddie will take a chance here. Looks like, you know, it last at bat too, Mike Minor, he let him swing.
Well, you figure the bunt's off with 2 strikes.
Yep.
If you decide to play the bunt, you've got a fast man in Costanza who's waiting next and a left-hand hitter. And then Andrelton Simmons. Let's see what happens on this 1-2 pitch. Pulled fair. It's a base hit. 2 runs are going to score. Mike Minor has a double. It's 3-2.
Confidence Freddie Gonzalez showing in Mike Minor, letting him swing the bat on a breaking ball inside. Good job there. I think Freddie Gonzalez probably saying to himself, I think Homer Bailey's going to throw him a breaking ball inside here. I'm letting him hit.
Remember, breaking ball was one of your 4 keys for Bailey. He got beat with it to Minor, and he's losing now 3-2. Here's Costanza. Bunts foul for a strike.
Well, among other things that Greg Walker told me before the game, Greg Walker said, I watched his last start and made some mistakes. He made 2 or 3 mistakes, Walk said, with his breaking ball and got hurt. And sure enough, happened again tonight.
So 3 straight Atlanta hits, nobody out. And upstairs, 1 ball, 1 strike. It's hard to figure. A man like Bailey throws 97 miles an hour and he wants to trick the pitcher.
Yeah, I've had the same concern throughout my career. I'd see guys trying to trick the pitcher and
there's the bunt. It's a beauty. A bunt hit for Costanza. He's got 2 hits today. Minor to third, Costanza at first, and a beauty.
Look at this, people. Watch, that's getting down the line. You know, I think pitchers think, if I throw this in the right location, you're going to strike him out because the pitcher doesn't, play every day. I can get him out with a breaking ball, but what you always forget is that when you throw your breaking stuff, the chances increase that you're going to make a mistake. And since it's a slower pitch, it's easier to hit a mistake. He makes a mistake with his fastball there. I'm sure he's obviously second guessing himself there, but when you're pitching to a pitcher, when you make a mistake with your fastball, the odds are still greatly in your favor, but not with a breaking ball. We'll take it.
So Minor doubles his RBI total for the year. He stands at third base. Costanza with a bunt single is at first. Brian Price finishes up a long mound meeting with Homer Bailey. And now Andrelton Simmons goes to work. Alternating good and bad starts over his last 3 outings.
Gave up 10 hits that last start.
So a little more contact would be nice from Simmons here. First and third, nobody out. Told you earlier about Costanza's year at AAA. He stole 18 bags in Gwinnett. A test for Corky Miller. Has yet to throw out a big league base stealer for the Reds this year behind the plate. It's a strike.
Well, I know Freddie's moved Andrelton around the lineup. Hit him first, hit him second, hit him eighth. This year in hitting second, he's hitting .327, 18 for 55. I really project, to me, Andrelton is the perfect #2 hitter.
Back to the mound. Bailey has only one play. That's as good as a sacrifice for Simmons. A productive out. Gets a second runner in scoring position for the Braves. And now we'll see how Bailey goes after Freddie Freeman with first base open, down 3-2. And only one out. Freeman third in the league with a .429 average with runners in scoring position. And so pick your poison.
Yeah.
Is it Freeman or McCann?
Well, I can't imagine, even with Homer Bailey's good stuff, I guess we'll have to see how the first couple pitches go here. You know, if he gets ahead of him, but I just can't imagine him giving him too much to hit, even though Brian McCann just hit a home run off of you. You do want to set up a situation where you got the double play in order if you walk Freddie.
See Freeman wearing that batting glove on his left hand. That's the hand that was bothering him after the very first throw of the game. Andrelton Simmons threw wide of the first base bag. Chris Heisey, the base runner and baseball, met Freeman's glove. And he was shaking that hand. And he's shaking it again as he strikes out on 3 pitches. That's the second time Freeman has struck out. So the inning is up to McCann if the Braves should add their lead. Add to their lead, I beg your pardon. Another one of these, Murph, would be nice. But he's not going to get the chance. Reds will intentionally walk McCann to load the bases for Uggla. Braves this year have been awesome in bases loaded situations. Atlanta has a .387 batting average with the bases loaded. So you ask, how has Dan Uggla done? He's due. He's 0 for 7 with the bases loaded this year.
Well, his first at bat, Dan hit a fastball away to right field, took a good swing at it. I'm Dan. I'm feeling pretty good. Even though I struck out my last time, this is again a guy who loves his fastball. He's got a good one today. And the fact that this is his 3rd time, he's had some good swings off him today. I think this is the right man, right spot.
Popped up. Shallow right. Phillips out. Bruce in. Votto is there as well. And the inning is over. Mike Minor drives in a pair of runs. He gives himself a lead after 5. It's 3-2 Braves. Off on the mound too, retiring 11 straight. But first, our Home Depot tools from the dugout.
Again, great swing by Brian McCann and a really nice adjustment for Mike Minor to a breaking ball inside. Big base hit.
So there's your lead, Mike. Let's see if he can make it stick in the 6th. 4, 5, and 6 up for the Reds. Phillips, Bruce, and Todd Frazier.
Again, great job by Mike Minor getting out of some jams. He threw 28 pitches, 52 pitches in those first 2 innings, and then settled down to 32 here in the last 3. You know, I love his mound presence. There is just no panic on this kid, and that is a great trait that you need to be a successful starting pitcher.
Is that something as an opposing hitter you sense?
Oh, all the time, and you do sense it. In fact, interesting. That reminds me of something that happened in the World Series. I can't remember who I was talking to with the Giants when they were facing Verlander in the World Series. And Justin Verlander obviously does not lose his composure out there very much. But if you'll remember, there was a situation. It might have been the game that Panda hit. He had 3 home runs. What did he? And remember when the pitching coach for the Detroit Tigers came out there and Verlander said something to him, kind of to the effect of, "What are you doing here?" And kind of lost his composure with his own coach a little bit.
What do you want? I know if he's hit a couple home runs.
Yeah, I mean, it was just a situation that was a little weird. And talking to the Giants players during the World Baseball Classic, that's where I was talking to him. I was trying to figure out where I saw him. They even sensed then, at that time in the dugout, they knew they had him. Because there was a crack in the armor from a very good pitcher. And no, you do sense those things. You see him. You like to see him as a hitter.
Toward third, Chris Johnson to his left. And Chris makes a perfect throw to retire Phillips. 11 in a row retired by Mike Minor, and 1 out in the Cincy 6th.
You know, what really bothers you as a hitter sometimes is sometimes a pitcher will throw a pitch right down the middle. The umpire will miss it. And so instead of being 0-1, all of a sudden the pitcher's 1-0, and you look at him and there was no reaction. It's like, well, wait a minute, that guy just missed it. You're in a hole to me now. It's almost like, I don't care, I'm going to get you out. No reaction. It's a tough thing to learn, but the ability to not panic, not react, keep your composure is a great quality.
Sharply hit past Ugla off the bat of Jay Bruce. And Bruce is aboard for the first time after striking out in his first 2 appearances. It's the first time Minor's to the stretch since the 2nd inning. That's the inning that saw the Reds score both of their runs. Here's Frazier. Frazier's lined out and struck out. Been crossed up once today. Let's see if they have a new set of signs for Todd Frazier. Reds third baseman's done a nice job in Cincinnati. He's also hit into 9 double plays. In fact, the Reds have hit a lot of them. 76 coming into today's play. This is their 94th game.
76 and 94.
Up, that's over the Braves on deck circle and foul. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
It goes against the saying, they put the ball in play and good things will happen.
Yeah, doesn't it?
But you know, it's one of those things that the teams that hit home runs will say, hey, we don't worry about the strikeouts, and teams that don't hit home runs say, we'll take the double plays. It's got to look on the bright side of both parts of that.
That's upstairs. Meyer pitched real well against the Reds in his first appearance this year in Cincinnati. He's facing a Reds club that hits lefties well. This is the 31st game started against the Reds by a left-handed starter, and Cincinnati has won 17 of them. Well, really 2 rough innings for Mike, the first and second. Since he's been terrific. Runner at first goes. Frazier pops it foul. Perfect wedded bliss would be a Braves win for that couple today. Bruce a good lead at first. And off he goes. Fly ball hammered center. Reed Johnson going back. He will have room. And his throw is going to come back toward first. And safely in is Jay Bruce. Frazier hit it right on the button, but to the deepest part of the park. 2 out. So here's Cozart. He tripled and scored in the second. He also struck out back in the 4th inning. And Bruce runs. The pitch is a ball. The throw to second is a short hop and a strike. Bruce thrown out trying to steal. 2-4 the scoring on that play. And we head to the bottom of the 6th, up a run.
It's 3-2. As you know, Braves down a few outfielders, and that's put Reed Johnson in a leadership role for Joey Trdoslavich and Tyler Pasternicki.
You know, just being in the league and knowing the hitters, and obviously you got a pretty veteran club over there in Cincinnati, so guys that I've seen quite a bit in that division. So, you know, just being able to try to get them in a good position to make plays, and you know, those guys obviously you know, aren't, you know, too familiar with playing in the outfield either. So, you know, you just try to position them in a good spot and give them the best chance.
Reed pointed out that he had some great mentors when he came up as a 26-year-old rookie with the Blue Jays. Shannon Stewart and 3-time Gold Glove winner Vernon Wells were there to help him on a daily basis. And Chip, yesterday, he was even helping Justin Upton with the sunglasses.
That's right. He flipped off his sunglasses after Justin moved from left field to right field. As Reed Johnson singles on the first pitch from Bailey to begin the 6th inning. So, Tom, does Reed Johnson, who's a terrific outfielder, get an assist for that sunglass sharing?
I'm going to take that to the official score now. I mean, if you're willing to share your sunglasses and your eye black, anything for the team.
It's anybody's guess then. We'll flip the ceremonial coin and find out the answer a little bit later. So the Johnson & Johnson attack for the Braves in action here in the 6th inning. Chris aboard. Reed 2 for 2 at the plate already. Strike 1 to Reed Johnson. Well, the scouting report on on Homer Bailey has been right on today. Maddeningly and consistently inconsistent. When his breaking ball has been sharp, it's been awfully effective. Murph, when it's not been, it's been hit. And inconsistent really sums up his last 4 starts. 1 bad, 1 good, 1 bad, and another, I say bad one. He's only given up 3 runs, but he gave up a big hit to Mike Minor that cost him 2 runs and the lead.
Well, you're right. But bad in the sense of who he gave it up to. You make bad pitches to hitters, that's one thing, but not to the pitcher.
Phillips will track down Ray Johnson's pop fly, and that's the first out of the inning. Cincinnati is still hoping that Bailey will have a big second half. Last year he went 13-10 for the Reds, made 33 starts, and pitched over 200 innings for the first time as a big leaguer. But injuries have really been a big problem for him. A strained groin, a strained knee, inflamed shoulder, an impingement in the shoulder, a sprained right shoulder. Last year made all of his starts. Today he's making his 19th for the Reds. And a swing and a miss to Trdoslavich, who tallied his first big league extra base hit his last time up.
Whenever you get that first one, it's a special feeling, but to get it off a guy that's got 2 career no-hitters, probably maybe some more in his future, pretty special.
And he said his first big league hit was awfully special too, because Joey and his dad grew up big Yankee fans. And his first big league hit came against former Red Sox closer Jonathan Papelbon, who's now pitching for the Phillies.
That's right. Yeah, I'm sorry. I thought I said first.
No, his first extra base hit.
First extra base hit.
Yeah, Homer Bailey. So you're right.
Oh, against Papelbon. Yeah,
right,
I remember.
The Yankees Red Sox thing.
Yeah, I remember that.
I mean, that never goes away. Right?
That's right.
And from your days when the Braves were in the West and they got to play the Reds and the Astros and all those West Coast teams, you don't like those guys, do you?
No, I never did. Never will.
Upstairs, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Nobody up in the Reds' pen. Bailey still has a good fastball, but he's up to 100 pitches with this one coming to Trdoslavich. And he goes the other way. His first 2-hit game in the big leagues. First and second, one out, and here's Minor.
Nice piece of hitting here. Might have been that splitter. Hit it right where it's pitched.
Put it in play, good things can happen.
That's right.
They might find a hole, they might make a mistake. That's what Minor did last time. Now Bailey will see him bunt. He had a play at third, but takes the sure out to first. Runners advance on the sacrifice, and Costanza's the hitter, and he's 2 for 2 in his 2013 Braves debut.
Well, I agree with you, Chip. They had a play at third, but you're right. When they're giving you an out, you've got to get it. That's the only sure thing on a bunt in a situation like that. You got to make sure you get somebody somewhere. It's surprising he didn't take a better look at third, but when you got one out, you got to get that second out.
So Corky Miller will head between the mound and the plate, talk things over with Bailey. There is action now beginning in the Cincinnati bullpen. 6 hits for the Braves in the last 2 innings, 7 if you count McCann's homer in the fourth. And with Bailey's spot to third in the 7th, Dusty Baker, I'm sure, would love to see Bailey get out of this inning and keep it a 3-2 game. A strike to Costanza. Told you about the great work Jose did in 2011. Hit .403 in his first 17 games in the big leagues. But a right ankle sprain suffered in late August really derailed him. He went 4 for 31 over his final 18 games to end that year. Last year hit .314 at Gwinnett, .250 with the Braves in 37 games. Opposite field hit. 1-run scores. Terdosilovich stops at third. Costanza is 3 for 4. And the Braves going the other way against Homer Bailey in the 6th inning. And it might force Dusty Baker's hand. Let's see.
Great piece of hitting here by Costanza.
And Murph, your Ford keys right on target. First with a breaking ball for Bailey. But the other one, who are these guys? The new guys, Costanza and Terdosilovich, have combined for 5 hits, a run, and an RBI. Now it's a 4-2 Braves game. Back to the mound, and Bailey caught a screamer. Wow, Simmons can't believe that. Tough luck for Andrelton, but the Braves had on in the 6th inning of play. Costanza a big day. It's a 4-2 score. 3 turns and now lead 4-2 after 6 innings of play. All year long, Braves baseball on Sports South is being presented by Academy Sports and Outdoors. The right stuff, the low price, every day.
And Georgia Power Energy tip number 2. Georgia Power customers can take advantage of Georgia Power's refrigerator recycling program. Free pickup for your second working refrigerator or freezer, plus you get $50.
A little more breathing room for Minor now with the bottom part of the Reds order up. Cozart, Corky Miller, and then a Cincinnati pinch hitter, we guess. Minor has retired 12 of the last 13 Reds. We talked about his mound presence, his composure. Got out of a bases loaded jam in the first, gave up 2 in the second, and only 1 hit since. In the air to left, Costanza gallops in, makes the play. 1 out in the Cincinnati 7th. Again, the last time the Braves played a game this year without their normal starting outfield of Upton, and Hayward was when Mike Minor pitched on May 8th against the Reds. The Braves won that game 7-2. Today it's Corky Miller with a fly ball to right. Today it's Trdoslavich in right, Reed Johnson in center, and Jose Costanza in left. And that trio today has had a huge offensive output. And Bailey is indeed done. Looks like Izturis will grab a bat. This is Cesar Izturis. Remember his brother Meiser, who's also a big league player. Bailey out after 6 innings and 4 runs. He allowed 10 Braves hits. A strike to Izturis. To short. Andleton, backhand stab, low throw, and a 6-pitch inning for Minor sends this game to the 7th inning stretch. A remarkable 48 hours here in Atlanta. First, let's talk about the injuries. The Braves lost their starting outfield. If you count Evan Gattis, who's rehabbing in the minor leagues, the top 5 outfielders on this Brave roster are hurt or rehabbing. However, today the Braves called upon Reed Johnson to man center field. Jose Costanza was brought up from Gwinnett. And Joey Trdoslavich gets his first big league start. And look, Murph, at what this trio has done to Homer Bailey today.
It's great stuff, isn't it? Well, this ball club has you know, you talk about Brandon Beachy and Freddie Freeman earlier in the season being hurt. Jason Hayward out a few weeks with his appendectomy. So, you know, the bench and when they've called guys up have done a great job.
So Homer Bailey's day is done. Cincinnati will go to its bullpen, and Manny Parra will pitch for the 27th time. The Reds bullpen, as we've talked about in the series, has been outstanding. They had a remarkable scoreless streak end at 33 2/3 innings last night when their closer Aroldis Chapman gave up a 9th inning run to Atlanta. So lefty-lefty matchup here with Freeman, McCann, and then Dan Uggla in the 7th inning where the Braves lead 4-2.
Well, I'm really zeroing in on that top hand of Freddie Freeman. See what happens again. This couple of bats been a little funky with that. I don't really know what's going on, but something's happening.
I'm sure that'll be a question that Tom Hart will pose Freeman after the game. Tom will be in the clubhouse afterward getting reaction from today's Braves-Reds game. All that and more coming up on Braves Live presented by AT&T. Still a ways to go, however, today as Atlanta tries to take a series lead with one more to play before the break tomorrow. And Freeman strikes out for a 3rd time. He's holding the bat in his right hand, not the left, as he makes his way to the Braves bat rack. One away in the 7th. McCann got the Braves scoring started with a solo homer in the 4th. Balls and a strike. Last score we have for the Phillies and White Sox, 3-3 in the 9th. Washington plays the Marlins later on tonight. Well, on Steven Strasburg, Murph, he got clobbered yesterday. Gave up 7 runs in his first 2 innings.
Saw that. First broke in, I didn't think he was ever going to give up a run.
Swing and a miss. McCann is down on strikes. News was made by the Nationals, I believe it was yesterday. Jordan Zimmerman is not going to be in the All-Star game. He's been bothered by some neck problems. He won't pitch. And that's too bad. He's awfully talented for Davey Johnson's Washington pitching staff. Good job by Parra. He struck out Freeman and McCann. A pitching change forthcoming for the Reds, who trail 4-2. in their half of the 7th inning. All year long, Braves baseball on Sports South is being presented by Academy Sports and Outdoors. The right stuff, the low price, every day. With Braves legend Dale Murphy. Chip Carey with you as we look at Alfredo Simon, the third hurler of the day for Dusty Baker and the Reds. While he loosens up, let's go back to our AT&T Universe trivia question today. Homer Bailey's one of 4 active players with a pair of no-hitters. Name the other 3 pitchers to do that. You said Verlander, right?
I mean, I can only come up with, and I don't even know, but Verlander is a possibility, and when I come up with 3, I got no chance.
I think I know this one.
Do you really?
One of them pitches in our division, Roy Halladay.
There you go.
And one used to pitch in our division, Mark Burley.
Nice going.
That's amazing. 2 no-hitters. Burley's had a perfect game, too. Zugla dribbles 1 foul. No balls and a strike.
No hitters about the only one question I could get, trivia question on that is who has the most. That's what I'm saying.
Right.
It's the only one I could get.
And that's Nolan Ryan, right?
I believe so.
And Nolan Ryan's a Texas guy. Homer Bailey is a Texas guy. Homer Bailey got 200 messages saying congratulations on your second no-hitter. Guess who he didn't hear from? Nolan Ryan. Because Homer's catching up to him. He's 5 behind, I think.
7 no-hitters. Is that what you said? 7?
Yeah. Wow. 1 ball, 1 strike. Fly ball, well hit left. Will it carry out of here? Yes!
Good stuff for Dan Uggla, who's had a few good swings today. Got a ball up in the zone, and another good swing today for Dan Uggla.
5-2 Atlanta now. And Chris Johnson hits. The Braves have 11 hits today. Plate. 1 ball, 1 strike. That Phillies White Sox game, perfect. Rain delay in the 9th. They have a doubleheader today. And they have to because of interleague play. It's the only visit by the White Sox to Philadelphia this year.
Whole bunch of rainouts this year.
I think the most on record. Looper towards second. Phillips is there. And that'll retire the side. The Steve Miller Band has a post-game concert. Turner Field is indeed swing town. We go to the 8th. 5-2 game. Big crowd in Atlanta enjoying a Braves comeback. They have scored 5 unanswered runs. And we head to the 8th inning. 7 strong for Mike Minor. He'll give way to Luis Avilan. He's the first man to answer the AT&T call to the bullpen. Luis has been awfully good, pitching in more and more meaningful innings for the Braves. And he's the first of 2 substitutions here in the late innings for Freddie Gonzalez. The other change is at third base, where former Red Paul Janisch plays for Chris Johnson. The Braves use a double switch. That means Paul will bat in the 9 spot. Avilan hits 6th. And Chris Heisey, the leadoff man for Cincinnati, fouls one straight back. Heisey has doubled and scored. What a job by Mike Minor. First 2 innings, Murph, this thing could have spiraled out of control very quickly. Get to his offensive work in a minute, but facing a Reds club that all year long has had chance after chance to put up big numbers offensively, couldn't do it in the first, got 2 in the second, and has to this point gotten nothing else.
Well, it's easy to go out there with your best stuff and start shutting people down immediately. But learning how to pitch and being a consistent major leaguer and staying around as a pitcher is pitching with guys on base. That's all there is to it. You can't get everybody out. You're going to have to figure out how to get guys out when guys are on base in big situations where the game can get away from you. And Mike Minor is tremendous today. A couple tough innings, and then his pitch count the last 5 innings that he was in. I think his last inning was a 6-pitch inning. Great job by Mike Minor.
And we have a giant crowd today. 46,946. Braves and Reds have drawn almost 130,000 for the series. And one more game coming here tomorrow. Three balls, 2 strikes. To short. Simmons gloves, grabs, and guns on target. 1 man out.
Like you said, Chip, Mike Minor, great job on the mound and at the plate. Got a breaking ball and did what you're supposed to do when you get a breaking ball. But then the next time up, he was asked to bunt. I wonder if he was mad at Freddie for asking.
Well,
if
Tom Glavine was here, he'd say, "Why do you take the bat out of the athlete's hands?" But if you're to ask Homer Bailey, and I'm sure the Reds will, and it's only a guess, one pitch might be the one that sealed his fate, and that was after throwing 97-mile-an-hour fastballs by Mike. Something off speed was hittable, sped up the bat, and it turned into 2 Atlanta runs.
Yeah, you know that it's the easiest thing in the world to do, to second guess a pitcher and what he throws. But I'm sure Homer Bailey wouldn't mind a second guess on that one. Long decision.
And now Chu in the box. 1 ball, 1 strike. His 32nd multi-hit game this year. Singles in the first and second innings. And a bouncing ball toward Freeman. He'll flip to Avilan, and Luis handles. That's out number 2 in the 8th inning. And here's Votto. This guy's some kind of hitter, Murph, but I don't remember him having the kind of indecisive swings that he's had against Mike Minor today.
Well, it's a sign that Mike Minor really, as we've talked about, settled in and threw some good pitches to Votto. You're right, though. You don't see him take funky swings up there like he did his last 2 at-bats.
Outside for Votto, 1 ball, no strikes.
In talking about Votto as a hitter during the World Baseball Classic with some guys that know him, he really prides himself on not rolling over, not pulling balls foul. It's one of the things he judges himself by is that he stays on ball. He's tough, stays in there, doesn't bail and wail. Obviously one of the better hitters in the league.
Well, he's 29 years old now. He'll turn 30 in September. And Votto signed a contract that Murph will take him through the 2023 season, a 10-year deal. Former MVP, that was in 2010, 4-time All-Star. And the great history of the Cincinnati franchise. They are the oldest professional Major League franchise. He's the only Reds first baseman to ever win a Gold Glove. Didn't know that either.
Didn't know that.
And he coaxes a walk, something he is exceptionally good at. And he stands at first for Brandon Phillips. A couple of all-star first basemen in that shot. And they'll be duking it out for the next several years, Murph, for the starting role, I would think, along with Paul Goldschmidt.
Yeah, I would agree with you, Chip. Good first baseman going around here in this league at this time. It's kind of, you got to go through eras of certain positions and of strength. Probably some others if we think about it, but you're right, it's a good first baseman.
Shortstop might be another place with Anderson Simmons here, and Desmond in Washington, Echeverria, the young player for the Marlins. Heck, just in our division, some good ones.
The kid in Milwaukee,
Gene Segura.
Yeah, I like him.
Didi Gregorius for the Diamondbacks. That's what's so great about the game. You know, you see these young men come up, Murph, 19, 20, 21 years old. You see them grow into young men, then married men, then family men, then in baseball terms, old men. And then the next wave seems to follow, and seamlessly the game moves and marches forward. It's just incredible. 0-2 to Phillips. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
That's a great game. I had an appearance here in '96. Was the Olympics here in '96? At the Olympics, but not, was it sponsored by somebody, and I was doing a meet and greet, and I was trying to explain baseball to someone who had never seen it. Pretty tough.
Were they like from Turkmenistan or something like that?
And they spoke good English. They said, well, tell us about baseball. How's it work? And I'm like,
where do you start?
Where do you start? That's just exactly what I did. I paused and I'm like, well, now if the guy, it just got really confusing. You just take so much of it for granted, but there's so many things going on. I like what Tony La Russa, or that book, Men at Work. Who wrote that book?
Tony La Russa. As a ground ball is through for Brandon Phillips. Had trouble afoot here, tying run to the plate for the Reds.
I think it was by George Will. About Leland maybe and Tony La Russa.
Yes, you're right. I was thinking about the Buzz Bissinger book about Tony La Russa.
But I think George Will said in that book, to the untrained eye, there's not a lot going on. But once you get to know baseball, there's too much going on. There's all kinds of things going on, and I learned that as just coaching my kids and managing a team. Just in that. At that age group, trying to make decisions, and there's a lot going on to this game. It's a great game.
And that's something Chipper Jones talked about an awful lot. He said, when you're a young player, you get up here at the game's moving a zillion miles an hour. And then as you get more confident, more comfortable, the game begins to slow down for you. And once the game slows down and you're playing it on your own pace, then you put up numbers and have more success. And then inevitably, Chipper said, when you get to be 38, 39, and 40, it somehow speeds up again, no matter how prepared you are.
I remember Chipper saying that, and boy, that is a great description of what goes on during a guy's career.
All of a sudden, Avalon having some 2-out trouble. David Carpenter starts to loosen in the Braves bullpen with the top Reds home run hitter Jay Bruce up.
It's a game that takes a lot of patience on behalf of young coaches and parents whose kids are trying to learn how to play this game, because it's very challenging hand-eye coordination, timing, judgment, a lot of things going on out there.
That is fouled off Bruce's foot. Ouch. 91-mile-an-hour sinker right off the shoe, it appeared. And it's 1-2.
Avalon's got that ball that dives into left-handers. Sometimes when guys have a sinker like that, they say he throws a ball like a bowling ball coming in there. Jay Bruce got one of those and hit it right off the top of his foot.
A 1-2 pitch. That's the other amazing thing that the casual fan may not get. You foul that ball off your foot, you got to stand in again knowing he's going to throw another sinker.
Well, it's one thing when you get hit, you got to go down to first base and you can.
Yeah.
But this happens. This is a tough AB.
He's run the count full.
Yeah, a little dangerous situation we got ourselves into here. Dangerous hitter. Guys will be running.
Following Phillips' lead with 2 outs. Off they go. And the pitch is skied to center. Reed Johnson going back on the warning track. He's there, a step shy of the wall. Inning over. Bottom of the 8th. 5-2. Atlanta still leads it. Park just big enough to hold it, but you know how to play center field.
Well, Reed Johnson maybe a little discouraged. He misjudged the ball earlier in the game, and a ball that was a triple, but great play there against the wall. And look at this, people. 7 combined hits by this Braves outfielder. Previous high was 6.
Well, we said earlier, the last time the big three didn't play together in a game, or none of them were in the game, was a game started by Mike Minor against the Reds in Cincinnati May 8th. Braves won that game 7-2. They're winning today's game 5-2. And Reed Johnson, big part of that, quite obviously. And you made the point earlier, Murph, as well. This ball club is resilient, needs to be resilient. Fell behind 2-0, shorthanded. They've scored the last 5 runs in the game.
Well, there's some unique stories on the team, but I think that if you dig in and look at you know, the numbers and kind of what's been happening with the injuries, the things that have happened, to me, that's really kind of the story of why they have maintained their lead and haven't got a lot of serious pressure from the Nationals or the Phillies, but they have maintained their lead through some injuries. The bench has done a great job. They're going to get tested again now.
And Murph, isn't that part of your job? If you're a bench player, you have to expect the unexpected, right? And that sounds almost impossible to do, but be ready to play and prepared to play at a moment's notice.
Yeah, it's very tough to do, as you said. So hats off to these guys.
Reed Johnson got plunked on a 2-1 count. He'll take first as the Braves try to extend their lead in the 8th.
Well, earlier in the game, Reed took a fastball inside and stayed in there longer than most normal human beings.
Are you saying he's not human? Is that what you mean?
No, what I'm saying, he's got more guts than the rest of us.
There you go. Okay, I can work with that.
I mean, he just hangs in there. We know how many times he's been hit in his career. I've always admired guys that I look at numbers like that. I'm like, how did you do it? I mean, it's not that easy to stay in there.
Ternosilovich the other way again. Diving catch, though, by Heisey. Robbed him of what would have been a 3rd hit.
I said earlier, some of the things that are easier, and I do mean that about hitting in the big leagues. You see pitchers more often. The lights and everything is really well lit. No ballparks or any questionable the batting eyes, but there is an example of one of the things that makes it tougher to hit in the big leagues is the defense. Everybody's a quality defensive player out there.
Janish swings the first pitch, and Phillips around the horn hangs in with Reed Johnson barreling in at second base. Hard-nosed baseball and a good turn by the All-Star. Double play sends it to the 9th. It's Kimbrel time. Reds 5-2 after 8 innings. And time, Murph, for our Coors Light freeze cam.
Well, Mike Minor, you look at this ball a little bit closer on our Coors Light freeze cam, and you'll see that just snuck it through there.
Perfect illustration of why the old saying that it's a game of inches is really apt when you talk about Major League Baseball. That was the Coors Light freeze cam, brought to you by Frost Brewed Coors Light. And nothing cold coming from Craig Kimbrel, the all-star closer for the Braves, is going to bring 9th inning heat as he looks for his 26th save of the year. And he's got the bottom part of the Reds batting order. Frazier, Cozart, and Corky Miller are scheduled.
190 opponent average. Wow.
First pitch swing, Frazier pops it up. Freeman gives chase near the tarp, and he'll run out of room. Hey friends, you can take batting practice at Turner Field Saturday, July 27th with a batting practice under the lights package. Get a dugout level game ticket and a chance to take BP on the field post game with Braves alumni. Wow, for details visit Braves.com under the lights or call 404-614-2196.
That sounds like fun.
You gonna be in town for that?
I don't. What was the date on that?
What's the date, Val? What's the date for that? July 27th.
I don't think I'll be here.
That's during the Cardinals series. That'll be a lot of fun. As Frazier takes a look at strike 3. 87-mile-an-hour breaking ball for out number 1.
Well, that's just not hittable. We say it all the time, that one's unhittable, but with Craig Kimbrell, we literally mean that. He throws, that's another one. When he starts you out with that breaking ball, that's, I don't know, I've tried to think of approaches of trying to hit him if I were an opposing hitter. He's one of those guys, you better be swinging.
And when he's got that pitch and gets ahead with it, at some point you got to think the fastball's coming, and if he puts that where he wants to, you're not going to hit that either.
Yeah. Well, swing. You got 3 swings. You might as well just swing.
Good point.
I mean, it's not that simple.
Craig going for his 26th save this year. He finished with 42 last season. Last year, Kimbrell saved 25 games before the All-Star break. He's got a chance to pick up one today and maybe one tomorrow as well. But the way the game is played today, Murph, it's been described that managers manage the game from the 9th inning forward, not the first inning back, if that makes sense. And what an anchor it is for Dusty Baker to have Aroldis Chapman and for Freddie Gonzalez to have Craig Kimbrell. Not surprisingly, these two clubs over 50 wins before the All-Star break because their bullpens are awesome, and that's our cold hard fact. And it's brought to you and will be brought to you in a moment by Frost Brewed Coors Light. He's gone to 3-2 with Zach Cozart. Don't want to walk him. Left-hand hitting Xavier Paul waits on deck. Have a seat, son. 2 out. 2 strikeouts looking, and here is that Frost Brewed Coors Light cold hard fact. Look at what the Braves bullpen has done.
Well, very impressive, obviously. And, you know, I heard our cohorts on the radio side, Jim Powell and Don Sutton, talking about a real interesting thing as far as the amount of comeback victories that the Braves have. Again, that's a credit to the bullpen, not only the offense. But think about when they get behind, the bullpen's coming in, kept the team close, and giving the offense a chance to catch up. So there's not only a lot of a lot of wins out there, but those comeback victories as well. You can go right to the bullpen that when they're second in Major League Baseball in comeback victories.
28 of them this year. This would be number 29. Braves have won 14 games in their last at bat as well. Kimbrel trying to strike out the side in the ninth and win it for Mike Minor. Crowd on its feet. We talked earlier about the Braves bats and this ballpark being swing town today. With Kimbrel, it's been swing and a miss town.
Well, he seems like he always has good stuff, but today it's exceptional.
And now Atlanta's one strike away, 1-2.
Comeback wins. Another one today will put him in the tie for first with the Royals. This curveball's been nasty, Chip.
And it was again. Kimbrel strikes out the side, and the Braves have beaten the Reds by a final score of 5-2. A new outfield yields similar results. Another Braves win at home. 5-2 your final. We're back in a moment.